everyone, I'm JD from Willow Journals. Welcome back to my channel. I have a bit of a process video for you today. I am working on a faith journal for one of my beautiful patrons. I sent this as a bit of a surprise gift to them and they have now received it, so I thought I would now put up this video sharing how I actually made it. I already have the cover prepared, so what I'm going to do is just pull out a whole bunch of pages to go in the journal. I've got these books here in front of me. I think I've got about 6 different books, and I'm just going to pull out pages from each of these so that these can be my feature pages. We've got a commentary from my grandpa, so I love that vintage book and that connection, that personal connection. I've got all the rest of the books came from op shops. One was a hymn book or a prayer book, and then I've got 4 books that were by Helen Steiner Rice, these 3 smaller ones and then a larger one, and yeah, they're all various titles from her. She's got quite a lot of books, and I love how a lot of the pages have illustrations, either these black and white beautiful florals. Some of them have more of like a coloured watercolour type of illustration, and I especially love the images in the large white book. That one has some beautiful pink, green illustrations of flowers. So just getting a variety of different book pages here, all with a faith theme. So we've got various different types of text, different types of formatting for the pages, design. We've got poems, we've got scriptures, we have got quotes and psalms, Bible pages, commentary pages, all different mix. So that gives a nice variety, a different look as you turn the pages so that each page looks different to the one before. And then after I pull out some book pages for the feature pages, I then go on to gather my blank pages, or what I call the writing pages. Some of them are purely blank. They might have some lines or some grid or graph. I also like using bullet journal paper with the dots. That's quite fun. But I also, for this particular journal, use some floral decorative pages. So they're more designed papers with beautiful colours and flowers. And I thought that would just be nice because there's a lot of florals in this journal anyway. And because I knew who this journal was going to, I could sort of tailor it to them, personalise it a bit more. And as I'm choosing my pages, to you it might look random, but I am consciously looking at the titles of the poems and looking at the words on the pages, and not necessarily every word or anything, but one word or one phrase or one sentence might jump out at me and just remind me of the person. So often when I am making a journal who I know it's going to, that's what I'm doing. I'm looking at an image or a word or something that reminds me of them, or that makes me think of them, or just something that I think might encourage them, or yeah, I don't know. So I just like customizing journals like that if I can, and personalizing them. And I do hope that it does speak to them. I never can quite tell, of course, but one thing I hope with my journals is that God directs them to the right person, and He will, allow me to. Through my hands, He will work through me to put the right pages in the right journal for the right person, and that He will orchestrate that through His amazing genius that will enter that person's life. And yeah, it's been really cool getting messages and emails from people saying, oh my gosh, that page about the sunflower, or that page with that song, or that page with that illustration, or that page with that poem, or that quote, or that word, that really touched me because it reminded me of this family member, or reminded me of this moment, or something like that. So in all of those cases, like, oh wow, thank you God, thank you, you did your thing. you spoke to that person using my hands, but with your wisdom and your knowledge. So praying that always that the journals will every journal that I make, even if I don't know who it's going to go to, if it's just a journal in my shop, that he knows what he's doing and he will direct the right journal to the right person, the right pages and details to that person. And yeah, I love that. So I sort of just trust that process, that I definitely connect with God as creator first and foremost. I saw him as my creator, and as a creative person, I guess feel a connection to God that way too, in a quite tangible way, that yeah, we can connect in this creative ability, power, gift, joy, and way to connect with people, a way to glorify God. And yeah, I love partnering with him. I love that we can partner with God in what he is doing in the world and how he is connecting with people and showing up in people's lives, that we can partner with him in that, in whatever way that looks. Like for me, it might look like creativity in the journals they make. For another person, it could be through the food that they cook, or through the words that they write, or the dance that they choreograph, or the buildings they construct, you know. It's all this, yeah, I don't know, for me, I see it definitely as like participation in, that we can participate with what God is doing in the world through very, like, it might just seem very mundane to us, and maybe we're just like, but that's just what I do. I don't even think about it. It's just what I do. But, you know, he made us, we're made in his image, and we are achieving his purposes in the world simply by being us and doing what he made us to do. And this ties into a bit of a faith message that I have today to share with you. I'm hoping to share sort of a faith journal video every Sunday and do more of a structured thing with my channel so that I can share more of my heart. So Sundays, I'd like to share more of a faith message. Another day of the week, I'd love to share my love of books and about the books I'm reading and how they change me and how they change my life. Another day, I'd love to talk about psychology and how that helps my life. Another day, maybe talk about mental health, because I definitely have a passion for helping people with mental health. Another day about journaling, another day about creativity. And I want a Daphne's Diary day. I think that would be so cool. I had this like secret thing that, not secret, but everyone knows that I love Daphne's Diary, but I kind of want to be known as the Daphne's Diary channel in a little way. So I thought maybe once a week I could do a Daphne's Diary video or something like that. Anyway, so, but today, Sunday, let me share a faith message. I'm not sure if you can relate, but I know a lot of people in my actual real world life we've had chats and can relate with this idea of everyone has insecurities, everyone tends to compare, and yeah, just to know that we don't have to do that. Sometimes it's just like we can do it without even knowing we're doing it, and we do it without even thinking about it, but we can become aware of what we're doing, and once we become aware, then we can stop it and replace it with something different. And yeah, I'll just speak for my life, because I can use myself as the best example that I know of, and hopefully you can see yourself in this story. Growing up, yeah, I would see people doing things and I'll just be like, oh, I want to do that. And then I'd see someone else do something else and I'll be like, I want to do that. And as I got older, the same kind of thing would happen. And it would only happen when I saw it in someone else. So for me, it would be something like, if I saw a singer, I'd want to be a singer. If I saw an artist, I'd want to be an artist. If I saw an actor, I'd want to act. If I saw a dancer, I'd want to dance. This isn't for everything. Like when I saw a lawyer, I didn't want to be a lawyer. When I saw a chef, I didn't want to be a chef. So it's not like to say that I wanted to be everything in the entire world. But I definitely had that thing where I would look up to people or just see people and be like, I want to do that, or I want to do that. And at the end of the day, like one day I went to SeaWorld. I've only been there once. And that one time that I went, saw the dolphin trainers, the dolphin show. And after that, I was like, I'm going to be a dolphin trainer. And honestly, if I was thinking realistically, that's like that would be a cool job, that would be amazing, but it's not what I'm made to do. I used to, when I was a kid, want to be a zookeeper, and it took me ages to finally work out, like 26 years of my life, to finally work out that that's not actually a job that suits me. I'm not an outdoors person. I don't like, I'm not very strong, like physically I'm not very strong, so I'm terrible at lifting things and heavy lifting and that kind of stuff. So I'm just like, oh my goodness, why did I think I would want to be a zookeeper? Like, again, it could have worked out, but when I look at staying true to myself, finally at the age of like 26, 28, between that gap, I realized all along that my heart was with creating. But yeah, I might look around and see everyone else doing all these other things and think, I need to be like that. For example, I went to uni and studied environmental science because I thought I got to study something practical and I got to do science because science is practical. And I don't regret that for a second, because I love science and I loved those uni years. I call them my best years of my life. Loved them so much. Loved what we learned. But at the end of the day, my heart always was called back to creativity. And so, but even now I can see things and be like, oh, I really want to do that, and I want to do that, and I just want to do everything almost. It's like, I want to give everything a go. I want to be in the circus, I want to ice skate, I want to make music, I want to be a theatre triple threat person, singer, dancer, actor. And then at the end of the day, I just have to remember, because when you can see other people doing these things and just, impacting people and making a difference, doing what they do well, I just go, oh, I want to do that. And then I have to remember, this is something that I can just remember, is you don't have to do everything, first of all, and you don't have to do things that you're not called to do, even though they're good things and even though they could be perfectly fine to do and wonderful. But at the end of the day, we can't do everything. There's not enough time for us to do everything, unfortunately. But to know there is something you can do. There's something that everyone can do well. There's something that everyone can do that can glorify God. There's something that everyone can do that can make an impact in the world, and do that thing and do it well. Do it to the best that you can. And I hope that we can all love that thing that we are made to do. So one question I have, anytime that you start getting insecure, anytime you start thinking, oh, I can't do that, or like you have a dream but you don't want to follow it because you're too scared, because deep down you know you're called to it, but you're too afraid to try because you're afraid of failure, or you're afraid of what people think of you, or you're afraid of judgment. There's that category, but then there's also the other category of comparison. Like, you think you want to do that thing, or you want to do that thing because you see other people doing that thing. So at the end of the day, one question to come back to, having questions or little quotes or phrases for me is very helpful. That's one of my ways of, I guess, being aware, being mindful, and that can change my perspective, change my attitude, and therefore change my behavior, change my life. So one question, anytime that insecurity comes or that comparison comes, the question is, what thing can I do that will glorify God most? And then just do that thing. If you're looking for direction, if you're lost, if you're not sure what your calling is, if you don't know what your purpose is, if you want to do 100 things, if you're looking at all these people doing amazing things and you're like, I want to do that, that, and that, but you just have not sure what the direction is, or you're not sure what to do, just quiet all the voices down. Just stop looking around you and everyone else around you. Just quiet yourself, still yourself, and look, just you and God, and ask that question: what is the thing that you can do right now that will glorify God most? And it could just be, be a good friend to someone. It could be a good mother, parent, sister, auntie. It could be just be a good neighbor to your neighbor. It could be good at whatever current job you have, even though that job might not be your calling. For right now, this one step in front of you, do that job well, because that job, you've been called for such a time as this to be in that job. Maybe not forever, just for this season, to do it well, and to do it to glorify God and to do it to help others. And so whatever it is, do that thing. And then for me anyway, you can have peace in that. Yes, someone else might be doing something that you're like, oh, I'd love to do that. Or, I don't know, you have these big dreams and things. But at the end of the day, what is that thing that you can glorify God most in? So for me, example, case in point, sometimes I can get overwhelmed or sad, disappointed, discouraged when I look at all the things that I want to do. Like, yeah, I want to be in the circus, I want to ice skate, I want to dance, I want to do ballet, I want to be a musical theatre person, I want to be an artist, I want to be a writer, I want to be a singer, I want to be a musician, I want to be in a band, I want to do all these things. And then I can get really discouraged because I'm like, oh, but I can't do that because there's only a limited amount of time in the world, or I can't do that because I'm actually not talented in that area. Like, I literally am not good at that, or I can't do that because I'm not actually called to that. And then I just have to remember, hey, it's okay. It's okay. Other people are called to do that thing. They're made to do that, and they're going to do wonderful at that, and they're going to make an impact, and they're going to show God to the world through doing that thing. And I'm going to do the exact same thing, show God to people, impact people, make a difference, help people, but by doing what I'm called to do. If I try to do what they did, even though I might be like, yeah, I'm doing what they're doing, it doesn't mean anything if I'm not glorifying God through it. It doesn't mean anything if that's not what I'm called to do. So find that thing, whatever it is, and it could change, from season to season. But yeah, I hope this is encouraging. I hope maybe this is something you might be able to connect with. So yeah, if you ever find yourself, especially in that place of comparing, just ask yourself, don't ask, how can I be like them? Ask, what can I do to glorify God? What is that thing? And maybe it is what you're called to do is the same thing as that person. Go for it then. Go with all your might and go for that path and reach with it with both hands and hold on tight and give it your best, because your calling deserves that. It deserves you putting in the work, putting in the effort, being obedient, facing your fears, risking failure, risking judgment and all of that. Go for it, do it. If that's what you're made to do, you go and do that thing. But if we know in our hearts, you get that feeling in your heart, oh, actually, no, I'd love to do that thing, but I know I'm not actually called to do that thing. So just get really quiet, get really still, and listen to that voice. Because sometimes we can push that voice away and be like, no, I don't care, I'm going to do it anyway. I really want to do that thing anyway. Or on the other flip side, we're like, we know what God is calling us to do, and we're like, no, God, I'm not going to listen to you because I don't want to do that thing. Or you do actually want to do that thing, but you're just too scared to, for fear of all of those things, fear of what people are going to think of you, people's opinions, the fear that you're not good enough, the fear that you aren't talented enough, the fear that that might not be made to do it. But I think when we get still and when we get quiet and when we seek God and really spend that time and spend however long it takes, could be, a month of seeking, a year of seeking, 10 years of seeking, and just getting in tune and connecting with God and journeying with Him, and Him preparing us and, teaching us on that journey. But I feel like we all know that. We know that inner voice, that stirring of the heart when we know yes or we know no. We can hear God's voice. Just sometimes we let fear stop us from hearing. We let insecurity stop us from hearing. We let comparison stop us from hearing. We let our pride, we let our egos get in the way of hearing. But we'll be much more at peace and we'll be much more effective in the world. We will glorify God much better if we listen and if we just do that thing that God tells us we are called to do, moment by moment by moment, and do that to the best that we can, trusting that He will equip us to do it, trusting that He will whatever He calls us to do, He will help us to do that thing. It might be scary, yes. There might be risks involved, yes. But if we do that thing, I trust anytime we do it, God will be glorified through it. He will be seen through it. People will be helped through it. People will be impacted by it. and that's how you can make a difference in the world. So step into your calling, whatever it is. Don't look to the left, don't look to the right at what other people are doing around you. Just look to God and ask him, what can I do to glorify you? Moment by moment, step by step, day by day, season by season. So yeah, I hope that is encouraging. I hope that is helpful and might speak to someone. Feel free to let me know in the comments if that resonated with you at all, if you want to share some of your story with us, because I believe that when we share our stories, that's when we can learn from each other and be uplifted and encouraged by each other, challenged and taught by each other, all to say that we are changed by it so that we can live better lives of more peace, more effectiveness, more glorifying God. Okay, back to this video. I hope you also enjoyed just watching my process of putting this journal together. I have chosen the pages, I cut them down as you saw. I'm now just arranging all the pages. I will then go ahead and bind this journal and then it will be done. And yeah, like I said, I've already sent that to the lovely, beautiful patron. If you would like to become a patron and support this channel, if you believe in it, and if you've got anything out of it, and if you're willing and able, you are most welcome to be a patron, and that definitely helps me to keep doing this full time and helps me to, I guess, live one of my dreams of making a living through creating, and hopefully, through this partnering with God to give something good into the world through my videos, through the messages that I share, through the things that I create. So I'll leave the link below to my Patreon in the description box below. And if there's anything you would like to see, any requests, would love to hear as well. Let me know what you think about the new structure that I am contemplating doing, with a faith video every week, a book video, a psychology video, maybe a mental health video, a journaling video, creativity video, and a Daphne's Diary video every week. And that way you can pick and choose. Like if you're not into the Daphne's Diary videos, you can skip Fridays, because I think my Fridays will be the Daphne's Diary videos. And if you're only up for like the journal with me videos, then you'll have a set day where you know, oh yeah, Thursday, this is the day that it's the journal with me video. Again, I'm inspired by Psychology in Seattle with that. That's the podcast that I'm a lifelong patron of, and they used to anyway have more of a structure where every Monday, Wednesday, Friday they would have certain episodes, and then the Saturday would be a rerun type thing, or more of like an email thing. It's changed a bit now, but I always kind of like that idea, because I knew for me as a viewer of their channel that Monday, Wednesday, Friday I would get new content, and I would be really excited. So I'd always be hanging out, oh yeah, it's a Monday, oh cool, Wednesday, yay, Friday. So maybe that is something that you might enjoy, is like, oh yeah, it's Friday, Daphne's Diary, or okay, Sunday, yay, I don't care about the crafty stuff, I just want to hear the faith message, or don't care about the psychology stuff, I just want to see the journal flip throughs. So if I have a set structure, you guys can look forward to a certain day, and also skip days if you want to skip days. If there's anyone who watches every single video, I have no idea if there's anyone who watches every single one, let me know as well. I want to give you a shout out and just say thank you. And you're my people. If you're one of those ones who watches every single video, and especially if you're like one of those ones who watches to the very end, I guess I'm speaking to you especially, because when I do my channel, I do it in my mind, it's a serial type of thing that each episode moves on from the other. So you get to know me, you get to know my life, you get to know my story and my heart and that kind of thing as it progresses through each video. So sometimes I'll mention something and be like, oh, like I mentioned before, and I won't elaborate, because I'm assuming in my head that you're on this journey with me and have heard me tell that story before or whatever. So, but I don't know if there's anyone who does, but if that's one of you people out there, let me know and I will mention you on my channel, give you a shout out. All right, guys, hope you're doing really well. Hope this video was enjoyable and encouraging. Would love to hear from you in the chat or feel free to email, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys. Big thank you to my beautiful patrons who supported me in September. I could not do this without you, so thank you so much for allowing me to create and share videos for yet another month. If you'd like to become a patron in October, the link will be below in the description box. That's where you get access to behind the scenes looks, sneak peeks, first access to my journals. At the Ruby level, you get all printables from my Etsy shop. Emerald level, you get extra printables, and then there are some mail tiers as well. I'm also running my courses, my journaling courses again in October, so feel free to sign up for any of those. Just send me an email and check all the links in the description box below for ways to contact me and be part of the world of Willow Bound Journals.